an excellent achievement. Congratulations to PHA and his team and the residents who are and will occupy these homes. Thank you.
We'd like to now welcome Jeffrey Lawrence, Jesse, representing the city of Philadelphia, and the mayor.
Good morning, everybody. So on behalf of our mayor, Mayor Sherelle L. Parker, and the department that I have the privilege of leading, the Department of Planning and Development, and its Division of Housing and Community Development, I want to extend sincere congratulations to PHA and the team. Super honored to be here today. I remember this project from my time as a project manager at the Redevelopment Authority and its acquisition efforts. And then again, as a director of real estate at the Land Bank, prior to joining the administration, seeing it come to fruition. I would like to commend PHA for being the model when it comes to the grant process, when it comes to HUD's Choice and Neighborhood Initiative. I don't think there's a better word other than transformative to really describe what's happened here to us. Sharswood is a remarkable example of what happens when you inject on the choice neighborhood process, not just the planning efforts, but the implementation efforts as well. PRA and DHCD worked real close with PHA and its partners to make sure that this development happens and to support that. And despite any hurdles that anybody may recall, I'm excited to see the results here today. I remember the groundbreakings along the way. I remember the ribbon cuttings as well. And we're here today for a celebration for a tremendous effort. As many of us know, the mayor's, at the forefront of the mayor's agenda is housing. It's big topic when it comes to her agenda as well. And neighborhoods like Sharswood are the heart of Philadelphia. And you need a quality, affordable, and mixed income housing for projects like this to strengthen those neighborhoods. Our mayor will always tell you, none of us can do it alone. And I think that's clear here today. And on the city side, we stay committed to partnerships and strategies that help create safe, attractive, attainable, and affordable housing options for all Philadelphians. So the affordable housing crisis is in fact real. And I think we're truly grateful for PHA's mission when it comes to housing and comprehensive development. And we're also thankful for the support of the electeds and that intergenerational cooperation. Shout out to Councilmember Young, who's not here today. Shout out to Council President Clark, who's here today, and also Council President Johnson, who, along with the other members, voted for the support of the recent budget that passed to help fund the home plan. The administration in my department certainly appreciates the trust that we have in you all, working really closely to make sure that we do implement change here in real change here in Philadelphia. And before I take my seat, I want to just remember that the mayor often talks about affordable luxury, and I think this particular effort doubles down on that, making sure that affordable housing and mixed income housing is in fact well built and looks good. So I think we can all agree that Sharswood checks all those boxes, and that PHA has really left the mark on responding to the housing need and the development need. But it's also their commitment in creating neighborhood and community centers such as this, which is good, impactful, positive, comprehensive planning and development. So absolute job well done, Kelvin, and salute to everybody that made this happen today. Thank you.
We will now welcome Mr. Promises Made, Promises Kept, Darrell L. Clark, former Philadelphia City Council President and current PHA board member.
Morning. So I don't know about you all. I'm going to be brief because it's hot up in here. All right. So promises made, promises kept. So it's a funny term, right? And I'll tell you why. When we first came and embarked upon this community, that whole promises made, promises kept thing, and mind you, we were politicians, and Kelvin was kind of like one. You kind of whispered it, I promise you, to the community, because everybody was skeptical. Man, this guy's coming around here. So you whispered. But I noticed every time we put a shovel in the ground and cut a ribbon, promises made, promises kept. Now, promises made, promises kept, right? Because it's done. You know what I mean? So I just want to say how important it is, particularly for elected officials, right? Because too frequently they don't keep their promise, and not necessarily because they didn't want to, but things happen. So that's why it's so important when I see these individuals, our man, Congressman Dwight Money Evans, and Congressman, that doesn't mean that.
If you're just joining us live, we are watching the revitalization celebration of Sharswood. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders, and we are at PHA's headquarters at 20th and Master. There have been quite a few speakers so far. Darrell Clark, former Council President Darrell Clark, is now having a discussion. We heard from um, Congressman Dwight Evans and Kelvin Jeremiah, CEO and President of PHA, among so many others, spoke this morning. When this event is over, when they're finished with their speeches, I will be interviewing more than a few people to get a better idea of what is it that PHA does here. All right, stay tuned.
Turner was at the New York City Stock Exchange. He was speaking with national housing leaders. And one of the first topics that he brought up was the transformation that we have seen here in Sharswood. And I think that's a testament to the work they are doing. So I know we've given a couple already, but another round of applause to them. Now, with respect to why we're here today, ADS DeFelice, who was in his role as regional administrator at the time, was happy to be here to present a $30 million Choice Neighborhood Grant from President Donald Trump and Secretary Ben Carson. And now it's my pleasure to be here for the completion of this project on behalf of President Trump and Secretary Turner. Now, one of the things that I think makes this project so special is the importance of public and private partnership that has gone into the success that we've seen here today. And I think part of that is due to the affordability crisis that we're all aware of that we're facing today. And the more public-private partnerships that we can facilitate, the more communities that will be uplifted, because PHA, HUD, we can't do this alone. And these partnerships always uplift communities. Now, why is Sharswood so special? I think Sharswood is honestly a blueprint for a truly holistic community where we have families and individuals who can learn, live, play, and work all in one cohesive and safe community. And I don't think there's anything more important than that. So I'll yield the rest of my time. I sweat through this entire suit. Thank you, everyone, and keep up the great work, PHA.
We would now like to welcome Jacob Fisher, Regional Vice President for New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Penrose.
Thank you to that disembodied voice. I've never been introduced that way before. My name is Jacob Fisher. I'm Regional Vice President Penrose, and I'm speaking today on behalf of our CEO, Tim Henkel, President of our development company, Charlie Adams, President of our management company, Marsha Blunt, who are all here today, and also on behalf of our development team leaders, Lindsay Samsey, Senior Developer, and Kelly Yan, the project's developer. Just want to recognize Lindsay and Kelly for a minute. They are a dynamic duo of real estate financing and project management. Their ability to master the complexity of a mixed income, scattered site development backed by 3 simultaneous tax-exempt bond issues was essential to delivering 224 units in phase 3, which you can see out here, and 343 of the 1480 units that Kelvin referenced earlier in 3 mixed income rental developments across 3 phases. The other firms that have contributed to this effort, many of whom are represented here today, Architects WRT, Mid-Atlantic Engineers, Domus Construction, DAC Hillman, Berman and Dichter, Dilworth, and Innova Services Corporation. Project financing was provided by Redstone, TD Bank, the City of Philadelphia, PHA, PHFA, which administers the low-income housing tax credit program in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The story of our work here predates everything that we're talking about today and will extend way into the future of a transformed neighborhood. It's the story of a garden well tended. Last week, Penrose was proud to support and attend the Philly Seeds Gala on North Broad Street. This beautiful event celebrated the work of Philly Seeds in helping build wealth among PHA residents through investments in scholarships and down payment assistance. After leaving this moving event, I thought a lot about the name of the organization, Philly Seeds. The idea it conveys is that we plant these seeds today to create a future where something new and wonderful can grow. Community development is like that too. The seeds for today's grand opening celebration and celebration of this overall redevelopment were planted long ago too. They were planted, in fact, in the slow decline of a strong neighborhood. They were planted by the residents who have held on through all of the change and refused to give up. They were planted by Mayor John Street's Neighborhood Transformation Initiative, which used funds to acquire vacant lots. And they were planted by PHA, which had the vision for securing the future of Sharswood as a vibrant, mixed-income neighborhood. All of this planting and nurturing and tending has already brought us to a future where underutilized land all over is being repurposed by public, private, and nonprofit entities to create mixed-income housing. Affordable family rental housing sits side by side with market rate for sale housing, and housing units developed through the city's Turn the Key program line many streets and provide opportunities for working members of our community to buy their own homes. Senior housing, community facilities, public art and educational opportunities through the Playful Learning program abound. Retail, the vibrant future that is growing around us will be further nurtured by Mayor Parker's home initiative and its associated investments in housing. Thanks to these seeds, these investments, this patient tending and watering, we have collectively grown and will continue to grow something new and wonderful in the Sharswood neighborhood. It is Penrose's great privilege to work alongside PHA and its dedicated team to support this incredible effort. We are already hard at work on our next step, which will be 100 homeownership units built in partnership with neighborhood-based developers. We look forward to being part of the continued growth of the Sharswood neighborhood. I want to congratulate Kelvin and PHA and everybody here and there and everywhere who have been part of the effort to make this day possible. Thank you.
Let's now welcome Milton Pratt, Executive Vice President for Michael's organization.
Is it afternoon yet? Good afternoon, I think it is. First, I want to welcome everyone here. It's such a great day. It's a little hot. I saw Nicole over the week or last week, and I said, is it going to be air conditioned? She said, absolutely. So thank you, Nicole. Let me start by saying to all the elected officials that are here, we really appreciate your continued support in this neighborhood. Michael's was not here just in 2013. Michael's has been working here since roughly 1998. Our first two projects were done under the leadership of Council President Street, your dad, and we were so pleased to be in this neighborhood early on. We've done approximately 500 units of both for sale housing, as well as rental housing. We've got one development that's under construction now, but I like to think about the people that were impacted so much by our developments over the last 20 years. And I think about a friend that purchased a house through Cecil B. Moore Homeownership Zone. Many people I see in this room, especially the council officials, they were actively involved in Cecil B. Moore homeownership. And the reason I talk about it is because it's an example of how for sale generational wealth is created. We sold those homes to families for $90,000. And today, they are appraising for almost $400,000. And those homes are just a small example of why when we started working here in the 90s, we saw a long-term commitment and a vision for this neighborhood. Our partners at the Housing Authority, Kelvin, you in particular, have been great to work with. It's not always been good times in Sharswood. And the Housing Authority, when they said they were moving their office here, I thought about it. I said, that's an interesting place to move their office to. It's sort of like our company. We moved our office from suburban Cherry Hill to Camden. And people said, same thing, interesting place. But your office here, your commitment to this neighborhood has been unprecedented. And so for that, I want to give you a round of applause to Housing Authority and their entire staff. I'd be remiss if I also didn't talk about the people that we do all this hard work for, and that's the residents. And whenever I get an opportunity to think about the families that we're helping to lift their lives, I think about the young people and I think about the elderly. And I think about how those young people are going to have an opportunity to live, work, and play in this neighborhood. They're going to be able to go to great schools in this neighborhood. And then I think about the seniors, like my grandmother that lived not far from here for a time. And I think about how she would love.
All right, if you're just joining us, I am Andrea Lawful Sanders from A.Lawful Truth Enterprises. There is a live broadcast happening here where you have been listening for the last 45 minutes now to speakers from that have been invited by the Philadelphia Housing Authority. Lynette Brown Soul, who is the PHA board chair, started it off. We had Kelvin Jeremiah. Then we had people like Keith Harris, Darrell Clark, and on and on and on. We're almost towards the end of the programming. And at that point, I will join in again with all of you and interview some of the entrepreneurs from this program that's been going on. I think that's Donna Bullock now that's coming on. Absolutely, that's her. And so we'll click back in so you can hear her, but just know that we're getting ready. Thank you. And the Brewerytown Sharswood Community Civic Association would like to publicly thank the Philadelphia Housing Authority for their team and their tenants for the opportunity to integrate old and new residents into our Sharswood community. It has been very productive working with your team through partnering on various projects, and these interactions allow us to hear the hearts of the residents, which helps to implement other programs and services that support their interest to assist in their home community. PHA has also aligned with our project mission for one community, one neighborhood, one team. Our association continually benefits from this project as our passion remains rewarded with the many positive feedback we receive through our communication with residents. A heartfelt thank you and congratulations on the progress so far. Sharon Green Dove, BSCCA Executive Director. And so there's a whole big thing going on. They're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. If you have not been here in Sharswood, there is a grocery outlet there that's owned by a young man who is, he might be 30 now, Dante. We interviewed him some years ago, and he's done very well here in the Sharswood section. The residents seem to really enjoy what PHA has done on behalf of this community. And so we'll take back in so that you can hear Donna Bullock, and at the end, we'll have some interviews. Stay tuned.
In that process. Kelvin Jeremiah, you made sure I didn't look like a fool. And thank you for that. But that all is said is that we were committed to this neighborhood, whether it's the elected officials, the staffers at PHA, the community residents involved in the process. We stuck to that commitment and made sure we were accountable and responsive to the community's needs. And that's why we are here today standing and looking at this very successful project. I am so incredibly proud of the work that we've all done as a community, and just want to say thank you one more time to everyone that was involved. Now, over the 10 years, I used to come with my own step stool, some of you may remember, in heels, because I wanted to make sure we stood strong and stood proud in the work that we've done. Today, I'm wearing my flats. I'm more confident, and I didn't bring the step stool, because I know that we can stand strong and stand tall in the work that we've done today. And I'm so incredibly proud of that. So again, thank you to everyone who has had some part in this. There are so many residents I see in the crowd. Hey, and y'all wave, y'all did this. Y'all held us accountable. I see you. If I start calling names, I'm gonna mess up. But thank you, thank you, thank you for working with the electeds, working with the Housing Authority to get the work done, to bring this community to all the beauty that we knew already existed there. Thank you.
Would now like to welcome Corinne O'Connell, CEO of Habitat for Humanity, Philadelphia.
All right, so the theme is one of thank you, that's for sure. And I want to acknowledge everybody on the stage behind me and everybody in this room. But there's three things I certainly want to highlight. Kelvin mentioned it at the beginning of his remarks of an anchor of PHA is listening to residents and making decisions that are resident driven. So in those very early neighborhood meetings, residents were saying, where's Habitat? We want Habitat in the room. And so Kelvin and team said, come on in, join the listening. And what resulted in that, in some hard conversations, right? It wasn't all easy breezy, right? There were hard, real conversations that happened. But long-term residents said, this is great, the reinvestment is coming, but what about us? What about the residents who have been here? And that gave birth to the partnership with Habitat and PHA on home repairs. And so together we've repaired 120 homes of long-time residents who have lived in this neighborhood right through some of the harder times. And I want to highlight in particular, some perhaps have heard me share this story. There was a resident whose home we repaired on the 2300 block of Oxford Street, right? She looked at the towers for decades. And the roof had leaked and leaked through the second floor into the kitchen. And so just her world got smaller. And she was living in the living room, using a hot plate to cook. And so enter Habitat and PHA in our repair program. We fixed the roof, we repaired the second floor, we repaired the joists in the kitchen. And when Will, our carpenter, was installing the oven, she said, this is great, I can go back to church. Which is a weird response, right? But as it turns out, as he listened further, she had stopped going to church because she couldn't participate in the fellowship hall and the bake sale. She loved to bake. And so the repairs on her home and that kitchen and that oven, her world expanded again. She stays on that block of the 2300 block of Oxford Street and can go back to church. So to Kelvin and team, right, in that listening, but for residents to advocate to say, we want to stay and be part of this thriving neighborhood. Thank you for welcoming Habitat and trusting Habitat in that work. The second piece I want to highlight, Kelvin, mentioned how many units, how many home ownership? 264 home ownership, not rental, home ownership. And Habitat is part of 25 of those units. Milt mentioned, right? Families who buy and building generational wealth. We built 20 homes on the 2300 block of Oxford Street, a really unique partnership with PHA and Habitat. I'm happy to share those 20 families are thriving. Clasida, right? Her children, her grandchildren thriving. She's been promoted at work. She wants to do more. She just joined the board at Habitat, right? It works. Habitat works, and it works better when we all work together. And the third, I want to acknowledge, yes, everybody equally noted, equally acknowledged, but Darnetta. Darnetta Arce. Long-time listening, long-time advocate, long-time champion. So in that space, I want to acknowledge, right? She's speaking after me, but I'm really proud of the work we've done together, building the social capital and the social fabric in this neighborhood, because we can build all the buildings, but if families don't know one another, right, it's not going to work. So Darnetta, keep going, keep listening, keep advocating. And in that closing remark, right, invite Habitat in. We want to be in the conversation. We want to be at the table. We can do big, audacious, crazy things. Look at what we've accomplished. Kelvin, let's keep going. There's more work to be done. Thank you.
Let's now welcome to the mic Darnetta Arce, Executive Director of the Lower North Philadelphia CDC.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I'd like to give honor to God for this day. I thank God for allowing me to be here and to see this day. And again, thank you, Corinne. And that's some of the things I wanted to talk about. This was an intergovernmental, interagency, intergenerational, and intercommunity relationship effort. We work together, and I want to thank the community for what you have done. Came out, we fought, we participated. We went to the meetings at Girard College, Vaux, everywhere. And I saw Michael Johnson, I think he left, but he remembers some of the fights we had, especially when we went to zoning meetings, what we wanted, what we didn't want. And I thank you for standing strong and standing with me. I wanted to thank some people. Normally when I get up here, I'm so nervous. I forget to thank people who have been with me from 2013 and 2010. And one of the organizations I truly want to thank is the Brewerytown Sharswood Community Civic Association, because they were the first organization, long-time organization here. They started in 2000. I came on board, I don't know what year, but I came on board and we knew we had to do something different and we had to be a part of this Choice Neighborhood Initiative. And then Mr. McMichael, he's no longer with us, but Mr. McMichael was our president and our visionary for us. And we thank him for that. The Bellows are here. Thank you for attending. The Ridgeways, and it's so many people. Penrose, the Frankel brothers, Habitat, Carrie and Corinne. Also, one of the, please, if I don't say your name, don't hate me. But Miss Annie, Miss Renee, Miss Joanne. My first office was at 25th and College Avenue. It was 350 square feet. Those ladies came down and said, what do you need? How can we help you? And they've been with me ever since. Thank you. Thank you. And this community, we work together from our youth. We have, how old was your baby when she started participating, Miss Annie? Juju, 2? When I say intergenerational, that's what I mean. We had a little 2-year-old volunteering, putting papers together, 3-year-olds, to the oldest person I think we had in our organization working with us is 86 years old, and that's my mother. Thank you. And I have to thank my husband, Herman. It's not easy being my husband. But I thank you for all your support. Yes, baby. And my sister, my children, and my grandchildren. When we say intergenerational, that's what we mean. And this is a dream come true. I've lived in this community all my life, except for a few years, but I've been here all my life. And I've seen the transformation, the revitalization. And I think promises made, promises kept. And you all helped us, PHA, helped us build our capacity. As again, now we have 9 employees with the Lower North Philadelphia CDC. We do the cleaning in this community. We have the land care contract. We have the street cleaning contract. If Ridge Avenue is looking better, thank you, because we were able to do that. We're here. We're getting businesses involved. We have built our capacity. People like Lindsay and Jacob, they've listened to us and the Franco brothers about what we want, what we think is best, how we see our community, because we live here. We're here on a daily basis. It's 24/7. It doesn't stop 9 to 5. I'm here at 7 o'clock when somebody is fighting or when a child is being jumped or somebody's being robbed. We care about our community, and we thank you for helping us build this community. And you said, I'm here. And as long as God gives me the breath and the strength, I'm going to advocate for this community. And I love you. Thank you.
Let's now welcome PHA board member and resident advisory board president, Asia Coney.
You're a little late for that. You're a little late for that. As has been said, I am an advocate. I have advocated for public housing residents for over 50 years. And yes, when Kelvin Jeremiah came, it was a little rough. Because as residents, we had heard so much BS from so many blue suit wearing people. And one of my favorite sayings is trust, but verify. And I still say trust, but verify. When PHA started this work in Sharswood, the neighborhood was considered one of the most disadvantaged. In fact, the fact sheet I was just looking at, it said, the epic center of crime and poverty in the area. That says a lot. That says a lot. I had family that lived in one of the high rises at Blumberg. And every time I dropped her off or a family member dropped her off, we prayed that she got to her apartment, because that's just how damn bad Blumberg development was. Never in my wildest imagination, and that's why I'm so emotional, that I would think that I would be standing here. And not only the 510 units that existed there, because we had fought so long for one replacement. We got that 510. And so much more. Home ownership. And let me be clear on my position. Home ownership is a wonderful thing. And John Street, when he was the president of city council, we had the biggest argument about home ownership, because it is not for everybody. And folks who don't want to be a homeowner should not be made to feel as if they are less than. Home ownership is a wonderful thing. And as the board, we get to do wonderful things like be able to provide that opportunity to employees of the Philadelphia Housing Authority. So home ownership is a wonderful thing. and it does bring about generation wealth. But a community, a real operating community, and let me take, because I'm going to skip over all the other stuff I wanted to say, because pretty much everybody has said it all. But let me start with a comment that Kelvin made, and I started to bring my sign that whenever I would go demonstrate, it said housing is a human right. And that sign got to be 18, 20 years old. And I started to bring it. But we've proven it. I didn't have to demonstrate it. We see it right here in Sharswood. Safe, sanitary, and decent housing is a foundation for growth and development.
Okay, we are out here broadcasting live in Sharswood at the PHA headquarters, Philadelphia Housing Authority. And I have with me Sharon Green Dove, who is the Brewery Sharswood Community Civic Association Executive Director. That's a long. Thank you for joining me this morning. What made you become the Executive Director of the Brewery Town Sharswood Community Civic Association?
So when I came to the US, I'm originally from the island of Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Jamaica here.
Yes.
Beautiful accent.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So Brewery Town became. I first moved to the Mount Airy area for a
Yes.
couple months,
Yes.
and then Brewery Town, Sharswood community became my home.
Right.
All my children was raised there,
Mhm.
and I always participated in anything around where I live. I've
Right.
always been a community advocate from a
Mhm.
child back in Trinidad. So I brought that same attitude to my America home,
Yes.
and then became advocate within the community, and then also worked with the board,
Mhm.
became a board member with the Civic Association.
Done.
From there, we had some transitioning,
Mhm.
and we needed some help at the office level.
Right.
That is how I became.
How you become the executive
Yes,
director.
I've been involved with the company over 15 years.
So you've been working with PHA now. What has your experience been like with the Philadelphia Housing Authority?
Wow. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Did you know
We-
Sharswood before they started revitalizing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is it like working with PHA? And then the second question is, what has the revitalization meant to you and the residents of Sharswood?
So what it meant working with PHA is to see the transitioning for the future generation.
Yes.
Yeah, the opportunity to not just focus on past, because Philadelphia being a historical state,
Mhm.
we are able to, yeah, city, we're able to with PHA, we're able to visualize for the future.
Right.
And that to me was one of what my personal main reasons for looking at the project that they were
Yes.
doing, and also encouraging our organization, which we say BSCCA for short,
Yes.
because it's so long. It's so long.
Yeah.
Yes, so we say BSCCA. So I'm able to help them with creative ways to do our outreach,
Right.
which is basically what we partner with PHA to do, the outreach for the residents within our community.
And how give me an example of what that is, because when when you do outreach for the residents, what does that mean?
Okay, so typically someone will move into a community and they will be fearful of not being new, not knowing where to go, not knowing how to participate, how their neighbors are. So what we do is we work on integrating residents,
Right.
so that they don't see themselves as PHA residents.
Oh,
They see themselves as community, they see
Yes.
themselves as neighbors,
Yes.
and they're able to now give more of themselves to make this home.
Yes, because housing is a right, not
Yes.
a choice.
Yes.
And I love it that PHA has figured out how to make not only create housing,
Yes.
but create housing and opportunities on top of the creation of housing.
Yes.
So this is wonderful.
Mhm.
Tell us what today means for you. This whole shebang that they have going on here, for all the muckety mucks.
So,
Talking.
so from the eyes of the people,
Mhm.
for one, we know we will have our streets back in terms of traffic.
Yes, yes, yes.
We have a lot of traffic as far as, with the reconstruction.
Right.
But the understanding is that these steps need to take place
Mhm.
in order for development to happen successfully. So today, being the pretty much the end of the construction part of it,
Right.
it creates that opportunity. Oh, no
Yes.
more tractor trailers
Right.
within the
And the
street.
streets being torn up to add
Yes.
this and to add that. Right.
But then it also gives us more of the chance now to walk the streets and to be
Yes.
comfortable seeing our neighbors and integrating more with our neighbors within the community. So yeah.
What has the neighbor said about, forgive me, because I'm Jamaican,
it's
so I like to, what has the neighbor
fine.
said about the grocery outlet, the supermarket? Did you know before the grocery outlet came, there were 20 something years? It was a food desert. What
Yes.
has that been like for the neighborhood?
So the grocery outlet, which I was also at the grand opening for that
Yes.
event and being a participant within supporting that outreach in the community. That is definitely for me. I shop there as well.
Yes.
It is the fact that they have organic stuff, they have
Yes.
fresh fresh
Yes.
produce.
Yes.
I always sometimes like on a lunchtime, I'll be like, okay, I'm bored. Let me just use my time in the community.
Yes.
And I'll go in and just see what's new that I can find here today. Because with Grocery Outlet being an organization that has so much different diverse products, I'm always finding something new. So I feel like that is a great opportunity. That was a great opportunity and it continued to be a great opportunity for most important fresh produce right in the neighborhood. They can walk to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my mother-in-law also lives in the community
Yes.
and she can walk and go to the market without needing for a ride and that kind of thing.
Right.
So I really like the partnering with the different organization that PHA has done within the community.
So you have a supermarket now, and you have a little bit of a shopping center. When are you going to get them to get some Caribbean food? I get some Caribbean food. Over there in the shopping center so we can go make our roti and dal and whatever else we want to make.
Well, on a personal note, I personally am a caterer as well.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Really?
I am a caterer, and a lot of them, including PHA, a lot of community other organizations. I've worked with them.
Oh, wow.
This was before I even became a part of the Return Charter Civic Association. So they never forgot because they want the Caribbean food. They want the
Yes.
diversity.
Yes.
And I represent different hats.
Yes.
But at the same time, on the day that I'm representing for Burriton Charters
Yes.
Community Civic Association, that's what I'm doing on that day.
That's amazing. Tell us what working with under Kelvin Jeremiah has been like, because there have been other presidents and CEOs. I don't know if you've known any others other than Kelvin, but what has it been like working with Kelvin Jeremiah and his team?
I think for Kelvin, one thing that I'm always amazed of is that whatever he goes after, he accomplishes.
Isn't that the most amazing?
Yes. And he's not afraid to beg gold.
No. So true.
Yes, he's not afraid. And that always motivates me to keep going.
Yes.
Like, you know what? If
It
he
is
can ask for
inspiring,
it,
isn't it?
it
Yes.
is inspiring. If he
Yes.
can ask for it and accomplish it,
Yes.
we can ask for it and accomplish it for our
too.
community as well. Yes.
Sharon Greendove, thank you, my sister. It was a pleasure to meet you formally.
Same here.
And thank you for continuing to work in the Sharswood community, because we do need leadership like yours that can help the people move forward. And I noticed as I was sitting out here this morning waiting to start the live broadcast, the residents were walking up to me. What's happening here? So you could see that they felt comfortable having the dialogue around what's happening in my community. This is where I live.
Exactly.
What is it that you're doing? So thank you so much for the good work, okay?
Thank you for having us
Oh,
here,
you're
and
quite
we're honored. We're honored to continue the work that we started doing for the last 25 years in the
Yes.
community.
Yes.
I look forward to meeting you again in the
Yes.
future.
Oh, I will be around. Just keep looking for me, all right?
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, my sister.
Same here.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, if you're just joining us, where there's a live broadcast happening here. There's a tent to my left where I call them the muckety mucks. All the I'm so good. You can go, sweetie pie. All the dignitaries are here to talk about the 25 years of building in the Sharswood community, what that has been like, and especially for the residents. You just heard me interview Sharon Greendove, who is the Brewerytown Sharswood Community Civic Association executive director. She's Trinidadian by birth. She talked a lot about what has been going on in the community, that the community is happy that most of the building is now officially done, and so that they can, walk the streets and be a part of the community. And I'm really grateful because it's beautiful here. It is absolutely beautiful. There was a concern. I was on the air this morning at the A.Lawful Truth broadcast, and the people were saying, well, the people that have lived there felt like they've been pushed out. And I was like, no, as I am talking to the community, they're telling me that they're blending in quite well and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. And they have a brand new supermarket in I'm looking at the supermarket now, grocery outlet, and Dante has been there for maybe about 3-4 years now. I was here when he first opened that supermarket. So proud of him. He talked about his family being in housing and that he wanted to bring something back to the community. And so that was the first of well, not the first, but the first few of the many grocery outlets that have now since popped up in Philadelphia. The prices are reasonable and the residents are able to afford it. So we're grateful for that. They're getting ready now to do their ribbon cutting shortly, and then I'll do a few more interviews. Who do we have next? Who do we have next? Man, who do we have next? Hold on, y'all. This is live broadcasting, so. Darnetta is here? Okay, all right. Is she cutting the ribbon first and then or talking to us first? She's going to cut the ribbon first. Okay. All right, so we're going to click back in for a little bit so you can hear more of what they're discussing in the tent. They're getting ready to cut the ribbon, and then I'll have Darnetta on with me. All right, hold on.
Only to discover that many of them had never left the development itself, that 8-acre block. They asked me then why I wanted to be in Philadelphia, why I would have left the great city of New York to come to Philly. And I began to share with them my reasoning. And among the reasoning was the greater opportunities that Philadelphia provided me on a personal level, but all of the wonderful things that Philadelphia represents to all of us as Americans, regardless of where it might have originated from. So I started to talk about the Rocky movie, and I said, the cheesesteak, and that was one of the first things. And I said, I ran up the steps, and I declared then, I'm king of the world. They had no idea that only 8 blocks away, the Rocky Steps existed. They had never been there. But more than that day I heard from a parent as I was leaving, who described what it was like to live at Blumberg. Her comments to me touched me in ways that I cannot even articulate, but she described a situation of her then 13-year-old daughter being assaulted in the stairways. And while that was for me horrifying, my daughter was at the time 13, I couldn't imagine the words that came out from her mouth then, which sounded something like, I know we don't deserve any better, and I know that I've made mistakes. I don't want my daughter to pay for the bad choices that I made. Ladies and gentlemen, I committed myself then to making sure that everyone that lives or lived at Blumberg could live decently, could have a place that they feel dignified in living, not ashamed of, and that 13-year-old girls shouldn't be scared to run up the stairways because the elevator was broken. We did this work together. And you've heard over the course of the program, a lot of folks thanking me. This has never been about me. It was, in fact, about the 13-year-old girl who deserved better, and a mother who thought she was undeserving, realizing that she, in fact, deserves everything. It was about them. It was about a council president who I went to and I said, I'm going to do this. And he said, because I think I was sounding funny, I sometimes have an accent. He said, 2,000 what? I said, I'm taking 2,000 properties in Sharswood. And he said, you're out of your mind. We need to work through that. He wanted from the very beginning to support me, and he did. We worked out a deal, and I think we ended up with what, Daryl, 1,300 parcels? And I said I wanted more, but Donna and Curtis was saying, I don't know if this guy could do it. This guy is from New York and he talks funny. But I want you to know, Daryl Clark, how deeply appreciative I have been not only of your leadership in the city, your commitment to Philadelphians and the North, the 5th District. You gave a damn. You cared about folks. And when the going got tough, remember, he often thought too that I was a plan from the FBI or something. He was very cautious. But when the going got tough, when people started to criticize me for anything I did, saying that we shouldn't put $750 million here. When the union challenged me because I wanted them to do more, to be more inclusive, given the incredible number, the amount of money that they were making from PHA being an economic engine in the city. And yes, when the protests came and the encampment came, and I wanted to be a heavy hand, he was the voice of reason. And yes, indeed, when folks called him and said, we need to get this guy, this funny speaking guy who is not from Philadelphia, we need to get him out of Philly, he stayed the course. He stayed strong. You had my back. I consider you a friend, Mr. Clark. Thank you for having my back over these 15 years. And finally, in just about 20 months, we'll be here celebrating what I would like to consider the international market, an extension of the Ridge Avenue commercial corridor where we have foods from around the world represented, small businesses having an opportunity to participate in the economic activity that you'll be seeing here. And so I look forward to welcoming all of you back. For those of you who are looking for homes, check out the affordable home housing. For the folks at Vox Big Picture, I see them here. I couldn't do this work without you. You understood the importance of the education component, and you stood with us when everyone said that school just wouldn't work. You making it work. And I will note that of the kids who have graduated over the course of the last couple of years, they too have received over $21 million in scholarship offers. You guys are doing spectacular work, and we are so proud to be doing that with all of you. Thank you, and please join me for the cutting of the ribbon.
Would everybody please remain in your seats just for a moment while the speakers leave the stage. And then we're going to be having the ribbon cutting across the street. You're all invited to join.
All right, we are back live. The grand ceremony is now officially over. All the people have spoken that wanted to speak, and they're doing the ribbon cutting ceremony right across the street at 2000 Ridge Avenue. I think people was happy just to get out of the tent. They were baking underneath it, and so I don't know if you saw Senator Sharif Street. He's walking back there behind me. They were all walking towards the ribbon cutting ceremony now, and so all right, we're looking for the next person to interview. They're getting ready to cut the ribbon, correct? They're getting ready to cut the ribbon. Okay, so once the ribbon is cut, can you get Dave Warren for me, please? Let me have a conversation with him quickly. Talk about, thank you so much. See you later. No? Well, we're live, so I'm trying to fill the spaces with folks who can have a conversation with me. Can't have dead air, so I'm trying to, huh? Okay, bring me anybody, anybody, so we can just go ahead. Can All right. So while we're waiting to have another conversation. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so the Sharswood Choice Neighborhood Initiative is a grant-funded program of U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, with a focus on improving public housing conditions, reviving commercial and community spaces, and promoting improved access to economic, employment, educational, and health wellness opportunities. The services that they offer: supportive coaching, educational resources, employment opportunities, financial counseling, health and wellness, home ownership opportunities, job training opportunities, and referrals to youth programming. They say, remember, if you have a goal, no matter how big or small, our team is here for you. Call to schedule an appointment. So there are numbers here with the program coordinator. Denise Berry is 215-684-8802. Buddy Hall is 215-684-3209. These are all the office calls. Nikel Moultrie is 215-684-8608. Ryan March is 215-684-8818. And I'm going to suggest you play this back so that you can hear exactly the numbers to talk of the people to talk to. 215 Ryan March is 215-684-8188. Akia Thomas, the health navigator, is 445-942-8640, and it's the Vaux Community Building, 2400 West Master Street. They're asking you to come on out so that they can do what they need to do. In the meantime, I talked to you with the Sharswood Choice Neighborhood Initiative. It is a grant-funded program of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. They offer supportive coaching, educational resources, employment opportunities, financial counseling, health and wellness, home ownership opportunities, job training opportunities, referral to youth program. There's a flyer here, so I'm going to give you the phone number. Call 215. There's a hotline, 215-684-3001. Child, let me tell you something. They're all now over at the 2000 Ridge Avenue doing what they need to do. And they're getting ready to do the ribbon cutting. It is a warm day. I promise you, it is a super warm day out here, and people are doing the best that they can with what they have. I will share some PHA news clippings for you. It says Sharswood covers an arrowhead-shaped set of blocks east of Brewerytown, less than 2 miles from Center City. The neighborhood sits directly above Girard College, stretching to Cecil B. Put on this microphone here and come sit beside me, please. Come sit beside me, Dave. Sit over here. Sit here. So that they can see you. Because they're watching you live, right? So they can see you, right? And while the community still has its challenges, there are already signs that PHA is delivering on its ambitious promise. Right now, we have Dave Warren. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you tell us your role here at PHA?
Yep, I'm the program manager for the Choice Neighborhood Initiatives
Oh, the CNI.
for Sharswood, the
Okay.
CNI. Yep. So my department primarily works on the people pillar. We're responsible to make sure that the residents who move in here, new or existing residents, have all the services, community social services that they need. So if they want to get a job, they want to go back to school, they need any assistance, we provide that in my department. I have 5 program coordinators. They act as I don't like to use the word case managers. I'll say like community coaches.
Right.
They kind of help them, guide them to whatever thing they're trying to reach. So that we're building these beautiful homes. We want to make sure the folks that move in here are able to be, sustainable in these properties and are able to enjoy themselves.
Now we talk about affordable housing. I've done quite a bit of conversation about the development plan, and you have a total of 1,480 units, right? 510 of them are replacement rental units. Tell us what that is.
That means the one for one. That means that those are the buildings that we tore down. For every unit we tore down, we replaced it. So like even with the high rises that we demolished, each unit that was in the high rise was built into a townhome.
Right.
So we were able to make sure that we were able to replace them one for one. And then our partners, Penrose and the Franco brothers, built additional affordable housing units too, to make sure we kept up with that.
So the question I'm asking, and I think you answered it, but I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. The people who had to leave the ones that were torn down, were they able to go back into the newly developed ones?
They had first right of refusal. So if they wanted to come back, they could.
Okay.
If they did not want to come back, we made sure that they got safe, affordable housing somewhere near where they wanted to go to. They had actually got to choose where they wanted to move.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have 671 new affordable rental units, 35 market rate rental units for people who can pay regular rent. Am I reading that correctly?
That's correct.
And then 164 affordable home ownership units. What does that mean?
That means that they're a little bit below market rate, so they're in the vicinity of, and I can't remember the exact percentage, but it makes sure that the AMI, the annual median income, is below that, so it's affordable.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay. And then 100 home ownership units. So there are people who just move into the neighborhood. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
and there's a lot of these. You can totally tell that there's a lot of new people have moved into the neighborhood. There's a lot of new
the neighborhood
development.
has changed quite a bit.
I remember I was here 16 years in 2016. I left for 4 years and taught high school, and then I came back about two and a half years ago. It was amazing because I actually helped write the grant for this, and I remember when everything was on paper.
Wow.
And we walked the buildings, we walked the neighborhood to let folks know that we're going to redevelop the neighborhood. And I remember how challenging it was for them at that time.
Right.
And then we got to this point now where we actually got to a point where I can actually visually see. I take big pride in it because I can actually see what
what you talked about. Right. So promises made, promises kept.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what you did. All right. So the CNI program. How do you get folks to come in and ask for help?
That's I guess one of the biggest challenges that we have is that folks don't really know that we're available to them.
Right. And that's why I'm having this kind of conversation. I said, if we're if we're going to do this, that we really need to have conversations on behalf of the residents so they know what is available to them. Because what I hear is, oh, we don't know this. There's nothing available for us when you have a ton of things going on. So this is one way for us to really get people to understand what is out there and available for them. What do you want to say to them now? Because this is a live broadcast. They'll be able to replay it. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, right? What is the thing that you want to say to them to get them to see that this is a thing?
Beyond, so my department works primarily with the Sharswood residents, but we basically do the same thing that we do across PHA aboard. So it doesn't matter what you need. Maybe you have a mental issue.
Right.
Maybe you have a child who has a disability that needs help.
Right.
If you're trying to get employment, you're trying to get education or training, we have all those things for PHA residents. All you have to do is call us.
Oh, wow.
All you have to do is call, and we'll reach out to you. My department is fortunate enough that we have at least 5 staff members that work directly with them. But PHA, our RPP department, our resident programs and partnerships, are available to every PHA residents across the city. And our state of art PHA family union department has so many things for young people. So many things that kids can come.
So then our job then is to make sure that people fully understand what is out here. We have to keep saying it to them until they believe it, because you have all kinds of, I saw this, support, coaching, educational resources, employment opportunities. You have employment opportunities, financial counseling, health and wellness. Talk a minute about the health and wellness and the home ownership.
We have a great partnership with Temple University for Sharswood. It's called PHA Cares. We have a health coordinator. Her responsibility, her job is to go out and provide the residents with any health information they need. If if they don't have a primary care physician and need to get one, she can help them get that. If they need to get vaccinated, if they need to get anything, she can actually guide them. We had that across the board.
Oh,
But that's the lucky thing. That's the beautiful thing about the CNI neighborhood, because the CNI Choice Neighborhood Initiative allows an ultimate goal specifically for those people. But again, every PHA resident is entitled to that. And guess what? Don't cost you a thing.
Doesn't cost you a thing. And so the hotline is 215-684-3001, right?
Correct, yeah.
And how long will it take for somebody to get back to them?
In my department, they'll get right back to you.
Okay. Well, all right then. I'm gonna tell you, call the Choice Neighborhood Initiative,
Yep.
and we can.
And even if they don't live in our department,
Right.
I mean, in our area, we can direct them to the
where
right
they need to go.
department. No-
Okay. Because I want people to be able to see when they tell you to call for the services that someone responds to them and gives them what they need. Dave Warren, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's a
pleasure.
pleasure to see you.
known him for
I was about to say, I'm not going to take us back that long, be like how long I know you, but it's been a long time.
I was so happy to see your work in here. They're giving out free water, ice, and pretzels. Come on down. Come and see what's happening. Come and take advantage of the opportunities that are down here. And thank you so much, my brother.
No
Always
problem.
a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Always
Good to see you again.
All
Take
right.
care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. Our next person coming up here. Come on, my sister. Feel like something to your ebony eye, and we'll go on and on and on. Amadeo, Amadeo, down to this eye. Hi, my darling. Tell us your name.
My name is Darnetta Arcee.
Okay, Darnetta, what is your role here at PHA?
Oh, well, my role with PHA, I'm just one of their community partners. I don't work
not
with
just
PHA.
anything, darling.
I'm sorry, but
You're not just
well,
anything.
what I meant to say is I'm not employed by PHA, but I'm a community partner.
So tell
with
me
PHA.
what that role. What is your community partner role?
My community partner roles. First of all, I'm a community resident.
Mhm.
I'm the CEO of the Lower North Philadelphia CDC. And
love it.
Yes, and I also sit on the RCO
Okay.
for this community as
Right.
well, with Brewerytown Sharswood Community
Yes.
Civic Association.
Yes.
Yes.
So tell me what this has meant to you, seeing all of this development happening in the Sharswood community, all the different opportunities that are available to the residents here, and what does it mean for them to take advantage of all of this?
This was a long time coming.
I heard.
I've always seen my community as a place to be.
Yeah.
I understood. I grew up all in North Philly, basically 22nd and Norris, 17th and Diamond. I currently live on off of Cecil B. Moore Avenue.
Wow. Okay.
And I saw this as a place. I knew how accessible we had to the highway, to the museums,
Yes. You're 2 miles away from.
Listen, I know we on Instagram, right? I hate to say this, but I didn't violate any laws. It took me 7 minutes to get down Center City from 30th and Master Street.
Wow.
We have a lot of accessibility.
You do.
Yeah.
And do the residents feel like they have their voices and their power in their voices?
Yes and no. You know,
Okay.
we have some wins, we have some losses.
Okay.
You know, we look at this transformation, which is beautiful. But as anything else, more people would like to be able to take opportunities, you know,
Yes.
take advantage of these opportunities. Then on top of that, one of the things that we do see by us being a choice neighborhood now it brings in the elements we don't want, the negative elements.
Say more about that for
Oh, well, that's these smoke shops. These smoke
Oh,
shops.
but don't you have with the wait, let me see, the Brewerytown Sharswood Community Civic Association? Can you keep those out of your community?
That's the thing. We got to figure out, how do we find out beforehand when they come in? We don't. We want to stop them from even setting up shop.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And if they happen to slip through and do set up shop, manage their properties in a professional manner.
Yes.
We shouldn't see people hanging out.
Right.
And we should never see minors purchasing CD products from these type of stores.
Right.
And we letting them know. I'm putting them on alert right now today. We're
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
shut you down
Yes,
if we
ma'am.
find out that you're selling drugs
Yes.
to our youth.
Yes.
See, we need positive business up
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
If you're talking about healing mind, body, and spirit, we okay. But if you just talk about getting our children addicted so they can become customers for the rest of their life, that's not what we want. We want healthy alternatives for our
What I'm
community.
talking about. So, what are some of the healthy alternatives that you're thinking about that you think this community could gain?
We have herbs, we need smoothies, we need
Yes,
salad.
my sister.
We need nutritional food.
Yes.
We have healthy gardens. Sanctuary Farms is one of them.
Really?
Yes. No pesticides.
Where's the Sanctuary Farms?
Sanctuary Farms at 22nd and Cecil B. Moore Avenue. And then when PHA implements and install the international ready market,
Yes.
we're looking for vendors to come here and bring your wares that will be healthy.
Yeah.
That's what we want. Bring it. Come on. This is a place. Ridge Avenue is a highway.
It is.
And
yeah.
people travel through here daily. They have already
Yes.
predicted over 17,000 people travel this lane
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So come, Ridge Avenue is the place.
Yeah. And I love that the Philadelphia Housing Authority is creating a space so that the residents can feel empowered to use their voice. Listen to you though.
But I've always been like this.
Yes, ma'am. But using your voice will empower others to use theirs too.
I hope so, because one of the things we try to work together. Like I said today at the ribbon cutting, I've had community members support me from the beginning. We
Right.
are here. We
Yeah.
live here. We're here after 5 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a 9 to 5 for us.
Absolutely.
This is home.
This is home. Absolutely. Absolutely. What would you say the residents are feeling now about this entire revitalization project? Are they enjoying it?
I hope they are and become part of it.
Yes.
Don't just let this drop and say, oh, everything is done, because everything is not done. There's still opportunity to grow.
Yes, ma'am.
And we want you to be a part of that growth. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to make sure we have good schools, get involved with the school. We have Buck's Big Picture. Siobhan McMillan is the principal.
Yes, I met her.
Please.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
We have a lot of things. We got Rupert. He's a senior president council for
that
Sharswood
Rupert?
Town. Yes,
Hi,
that's Rupert.
How you doing, sweetie pie?
And then we have Renee. She's a block captain. Care about their blocks. They keep them clean.
Yes.
We have people that care. We look out for each other.
Yes, ma'am. This is beautiful. I was so
Yeah.
glad for us to be here today.
Thank you
We're getting
for coming.
listen, we started recording at little bit after 10, just before 11. And it's just been, people have been listening to what was going on the entire time. And then after they went to do the ribbon cutting, which I think you were a part of,
Yes, yes.
then we started having these interviews. So I'm grateful to you in particular.
Thank you.
Because if you if you don't speak up, you don't get fed, right?
Got that right.
Right.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
And
I
they said
really-
we have not because we ask not.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we're knocking and we're asking.
Yeah. And this is why I love this work. That piece of my paper just went flying. The wind is blowing out here, but it's beautiful.
Okay,
It's
I'll
a
get it for
beautiful
you.
day down here, y'all. Come on down.
Yes.
They have soft pretzels and water ice and some other things going on that my producer's partaking of, but I haven't had he didn't bring me a bite. You
I'll
hear
bring
me?
you something.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you all so much. Thank you so much, my darling. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, and it was a pleasure meeting you as well.
Thank you, my
Thank
sweetie pie. Thank you. All right. You are, she's coming to bring something to the game. Look at her cleaning off the headphones. You better come through. We got something to clean it off though. Thank you though, my darling. Thank you. Thank you so much. Strawberry? Strawberry. That's fine. Okay. All right, honey. And so there she goes off to make sure that I have something to eat. We're getting ready to wrap up this broadcast. We've been on for a little while. Just thanking all of you for being here with us as we did what we needed to do. Broadcasting live from PHA headquarters at 20th and Master, where they were talking about, where they were talking about the many years that they've been working in Sharswood, the revitalization projects that they've done, and how much money they have spent in terms of making sure that the residents have what they needed to have in the process. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders. We thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Over and out. Bye-bye.